Do you regret calling them fascists?
Do I regret that?
Yeah.
No, that's what I think they are.
What was that?
That's what I think they are. So no, I don't regret it.
Anything else about your testimony that you want to talk about?
I don't want to talk details because I don't know if I'm under any kind of restraint as far as that goes. Constraint. So after the trial's over, sure.
What was going through your head that day?
Just how ironic it is that we have a president who's been convicted of 34 felonies trying to persecute a judge for doing what judges do. So, yeah, I just thought the whole thing was tragic and ironic.
Do you think Judge Dugan is innocent or guilty?
Innocent. Absolutely innocent.
What do you think about what's going on with her?
I don't know. I haven't been able to speak to her for months. So I don't know what's going through her head.
How do you feel about it?
I just think it's another example of this administration and this particular attorney general going after perceived political enemies.
Thank you.
Sure.
Interesting. Going after political enemies. I wonder where that started. I wonder. We've got some great news, though. Judge Hannah Dugan, has been found guilty. We got to talk about it. Because this is unexpected. I was not expecting this. Dropped out of nowhere. All right. Let's read a little bit of this here. Okay. It says, breaking, Wisconsin judge convicted of felony for helping illegal immigrant evade ICE arrest. She said, I'll do it. I'll get the heat. She got it. Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan was convicted Thursday of obstructing an official proceeding, a felony carrying up to 5 years in prison. She was acquitted of a misdemeanor charge. The facts: in April, FBI and ICE agents, hold on, let me throw myself on the screen there, arrived at Dugan's courthouse to arrest Eduardo Flores Ruiz, who had been deported in 2013 and was back in the country illegally facing battery charges. Like, that should be a no-brainer. Like, you were already deported, you came back illegally, and now you're in court because of battery charges? Like, you're committing another crime? Yeah, nah, bro, you got to go immediately. Dugan sent the agents down the hall to another office. While they were away, she postponed Flores Ruiz's hearing and personally directed him out a back door. Prosecutors played a recording of Dugan telling her court reporter about the plan. When her clerk asked if she should show the immigrant the exit, Dugan replied, I'll do it. I'll get the heat. Agents chased Flores Ruiz on foot and arrested him outside. He was deported in November. Dugan, 66, will lose her judgeship. Wisconsin's constitution bars convicted felons from holding public office. She lost her job because she wanted to help out some illegal. Goodness gracious. You can't make this stuff up. Threw her whole job away because she wanted to help an illegal. Prosecutor Kelly Brown, Watska? She was a frustrated and angry judge who was fed up, who decided to corruptly take matters into her own hands. The message is clear. No one is above immigration law, not even judges. You love it. And there is Hannah Dugan right there on your screen. Now, I want to take a little trip down memory lane because I know I just read what happened for you guys, but I want you guys to take a look at what happened, and here it is here. Check it out.
For the first time, we're seeing Judge Hannah Dugan outside her courtroom April 18th, wearing her black robes, appearing to confront several federal agents there to arrest Eduardo Flores Ruiz, a Milwaukee man and Mexican national charged locally with 3 counts of domestic battery. This video, released by Milwaukee County through an open records request, is part of the evidence in the case against Judge Dugan, who's charged with obstructing a federal investigation, concealing Flores Ruiz, allowing him to leave her courtroom by a different door after sending the agents to speak to the chief judge. Flores Ruiz, dressed in black with his attorney, is seen in several of the videos leaving by that other door. One prosecutors say was used by jurors and not open to the public. As he leaves, though, he is seen in the hallway, followed by another agent. As Flores Ruiz gets into the elevator to leave, the agent slips in as well. According to the criminal complaint against Dugan, that agent followed them down. The agent seen here following out of the building downstairs, and once backup arrived, they tried to arrest Flores Ruiz, who another video shows ran north in front of the courthouse for nearly a block before agents caught up with him and arrested him. Federal agents arrested Dugan herself a week later.
Eduardo Flores Ruiz's domestic violence case is moving through the Milwaukee County Court. He is, however, in federal custody on his immigration arrest. The FBI arrested Judge Dugan at the county courthouse 1 week later on April 25th. She pleaded not guilty in a federal court last week.
Wild stuff, huh? Absolutely wild stuff. Literally tried to sneak this man out of the back door. Now, thankfully, there was still an ICE agent there that she hadn't noticed, because had she noticed him, she probably would have sent him off as well. But she missed one. And now she has been found guilty, and the penalty is up to 5 years. I don't know about y'all, but at 66 years old, 5 years is a very, very long time. Okay, so this is huge.
News with breaking news.
Good evening. We are interrupting regular programming with breaking news in the trial of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan.
And that verdict coming in just moments ago. It is a split verdict, not guilty on one count and guilty on the other. The not guilty is for count one, which was the misdemeanor of concealing a person to prevent their arrest. The guilty verdict from this jury was on the felony count of obstructing. These two charges came after this incident back in April, where Dugan was accused of helping Eduardo Flores Ruiz, an undocumented immigrant, avoid ICE officials at the courthouse in April.
Now, we know that the jurors have been deliberating for a little over 6 hours. We've been catching in every single update that our reporters inside the courtroom have been giving us, and we have been covering this case from last week when we first started the trial up until now, which is now 8 months of coverage with this entire case, and we have a lot to get to, including live team coverage.
And we start with Blake Easton, who is outside the federal courthouse for us right now.
Yeah, that's right, Derek and Deanna. You said it. We've been here all day long, and honestly, it's hard to believe we have reached this now, getting a verdict in this case. They've been deliberating for about 6 hours at this point in time, and around the 6 o'clock hour, that is when we learned that the judge was buying the jury pizza. That's signaling that they could very well go the distance tonight, and obviously, with the breaking news, they have. A verdict has been reached. At this point, our crews are gathering to bring you full coverage, but before we get to all of that, I kind of want to walk you through the day of events leading up to this, because it cannot be emphasized enough. The jury has been extremely busy today. They have heard a lot and they have seen a lot. Getting here early this morning, defense took the stand and they didn't take much time at all. In fact, they only called 4 witnesses to testify: 2 Milwaukee County judges, a public state defender, and former mayor of Milwaukee, Tom Barrett. The defense rested their case without ever calling Dugan to testify. After that, it then presented time for closing arguments. Prosecution went first, saying a courtroom should be a place of neutrality. When a judge uses her position, her robe, her courtroom to evade the law, that is when it undermines the entire justice system. Then it was turned for the defense to go, saying that they're trying to make an example out of Hannah Dugan, saying that they have a different version of the facts than the prosecution. And now, because this is the federal government's case, they were were then allowed to give a rebuttal, and that was before the judge was then giving them jury instructions before they could begin that jury deliberation process. And as we mentioned, look, it's been about 6 hours, fairly quiet outside of the federal courthouse throughout the 6 hours of the jury deliberations. There's been about 3 moments in time where the jury has had several questions for the judge. Now, the first question revolved around ICE policies and whether or not how they can present a warrant, what policies they have to follow before and after that warrant is presented. Derek, I believe you mentioned that early on in our coverage, noting that's kind of what led us here. Another question kind of had to do with Eduardo Flores Ruiz and whether or not he was given his name and if that mattered in the case. And so a lot of those questions, it did bring the defense and prosecution up at one point kind of going at odds. But those were the only moments we heard from the jury up until this moment right now, obviously with the verdict coming in. Again, we've got a whole crew of people here outside and inside the federal courthouse. The teams are gathering all of their information. There's a lot of moving pieces now, but that's where we are at this particular moment. Of course, we'll let you know if anything changes here on the ground, guys.
Go ahead.
All right, Blake, thank you so much. Blake out there reporting live for us outside of the federal courthouse. And if you're just joining us right now, let's get back to that split verdict.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Convicted on felony charges. Don't that sound good? One of these liberals convicted on felony charges. Yeah. It's a start, ladies and gentlemen. It is a start. I love it. I absolutely love it. I agree with Scott Jennings and what he had to say as well.
The spectacle is important because a message has to be sent to everybody else. We're not going to put up, you've been elected by people to uphold the law, and some of the laws that have been most flagrantly violated in this country are immigration laws. You've got to get on board with upholding all the laws, not just the ones you like.
Scott.
Yeah. And of course that guy goes on to say, well, if this goes to trial, it's going to be acquitted. Well, he'd be sadly mistaken because it most definitely wasn't acquitted. She was convicted of a felony. But yeah, I agree with Scott Jennings. You know, I think this absolutely needs to happen. You know, I wish they would have made more of a show of it, right? Even more of a spectacle of it to really illustrate that we are done playing the games. Just because you're a Democrat in this country does not mean that you can continually get away with anything and everything. Those days are over. We're both going to be held to the same standard no matter what. Because for a while, we obviously saw that Democrats were held to a different standard. They could get away with things and do things that we couldn't. And it was BS. It was bogus. And so I'm happy to see that is absolutely flipping on its head. But as always, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I greatly appreciate all of the continued love and support. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.